Okay, it's Monday the 3rd of March, doing this around 7:30. We do have some weather moving through in the next day or two, so we'll get to that right now. Now, this is tomorrow morning around 7 o'clock. There is some freezing precipitation just north of Bradford. Temperatures at that time um, are definitely, conducive to some freezing. They're around 31 degrees. And so it could freeze, but I don't think it'd be much for the roads or anything like that. I think it's just very light. It's going to pass through quickly. As you can see, the temperatures in eastern part of PA and Delaware and Jersey are cold, warming up out here to the west ahead of the rain event that's about to come through. Um, we're going to hit this really quickly here. We're going to come across, and you can see this takes you through the day. This is around 2 o'clock. This moves you into the overnight hours. This is around 3 o'clock in the morning, Tuesday night into Wednesday morning. You can see some showers breaking out ahead of this, and some steadier rains to the west. Some of these rains and storms that are going to develop along this front could be with some thunder and some lightning. Could be some good downpours. This is around 6 o'clock in the morning on Wednesday, and the first batch is kind of coming through. And we moved this to around 10 o'clock in the morning, and you can see it's pretty much across the center of the state. And there's another, so you can see down here, there's some red, which would mean some heavier precipitation. And then you can see this slowly come across, and you can see these little yellow areas here where it's a little harder. And again, any of these areas could possibly get a rumble of thunder. It's possible. And then you can see this move across, and it's like one line here, another line here, and then the group out front. But there's one more line that's going to come through. This is around be about 7 o'clock tomorrow night. You can see these little pop-up things here. This could be some thunderstorms down in here, and then here's your main front coming back here and coming through, and then behind that it gets cold, and there's some snow associated with it as it comes through in western Pennsylvania. So you can see it's a pretty good rain. I mean, the lightest amounts are down here in Delaware and Jersey where they're like at a quarter of an inch, but elsewhere in Pennsylvania, there are some areas that can get over an inch, towards an inch and a quarter, which would be a pretty good rain. Overall, everybody else is, half an inch, three-quarters of an inch of rain as this comes through. Um, the little bit of snow that you do get with this, let's see if we can bring this up. I agree with this map here. There could be a little bit up here in the Poconos on the backside of the storm, and out here in western PA, a little bit of dusting or so, an inch. Maybe the higher elevations, lower Highland, get a little bit more. Okay, so now we're going to talk about the weekend and some of the comments that I got last week. I really haven't had a lot of chance to sit down, but I did today, and I noticed one on here, and I'm going to bring it up because, I think it's unfair. Okay, now I'm not going to give the guy's name, but you can probably look it up. He owns his own weather site. He says, so you're still the root cause of others catching poor reputations as a result of your garbage being grouped in with forecasters and meteorologists as a whole. You should be removed for false information at this point. It's like posting every day who will be the next president and who's going to win the next Super Bowl and who's going to win the lottery. You're taking blind guesses and using the excuse that you're just an innocent messenger, and technically you can't be wrong because anything can happen. Okay? That's the most asinine thing I've ever heard in the world. And I don't care if the guy hears about it. But I know he has a weather site, and this ain't the first time he's brought it up to me and said these things because for some reason feels for his website to succeed, he needs to attack other people. And that's not right. You don't, you're in the same field. You know how difficult it is. You got 40 years of doing this. I don't know what this guy like thinks. You know, but for some reason, he's young. Okay, I'll give him that. And he didn't grow up yet, apparently. So that's all I'm going to say about that. He'll be blocked from my website because I don't need other forecasters coming in and just using me as a pounding board. Okay, but we do need to talk about the weekend. Not all of the websites or all the maps are showing this. Um, there's a storm this is the one I thought would phase and come through, but what it's saying is a little bit different than I thought. It's saying when you look at it, it's a secondary storm that'll come in from behind the one that's going to come through later on in the week. Like here's later on in the week. Here's a small one that comes across the south. But then on the weekend, there's this one, which would be Saturday night into Sunday, and it would come through. Now, the numbers that the GFS is throwing out are, again, the GFS has been wrong most of the winter, but there are other things like the MJO and some other things that are beginning to take shape. You got a jet stream that's not as strong as earlier this year, so the possibilities are there. We run this through the first. Let's see, here's your totals. You run this through a run ago. Actually, I'll go back a couple of runs. See, it showed the storm down south. Okay, and other websites, other models showed that. Then, as the model went ahead to the 12Z, it kind of showed this. Okay, and actually, I should run this out a little bit further, but it shows this, which would be a major snowstorm. So then the last run, which was the 18Z run, it showed this. So a little tighter, but again, it's going along with the storm. Now, again, this is kind of I felt would happen before we get into this. It's going to warm up behind this. It's going to turn. It's going to rain next week, and then the cold air comes in around the 18th to the 20th. But if you look at some of the other models, there's no snow. Okay, so is the GFS going to be the one that's going to win, or is it going to be wrong again? But I'm just throwing it out there that it's there, and I'll keep an eye on it this week. And like I said, I think on Thursday, I said, or Saturday, one of the days, I said you got to wait through the weekend. And again, when one storm comes through, it controls what the next storm kind of does a little bit. It changes things. So you have a storm tomorrow night into Wednesday. And so when that one clears, then I'm sure we'll get a clearer picture of what's going to happen on the weekend. But I just thought I would throw that out there and I would show you both sides of the coin and we'll keep an eye on it. Okay. So maybe not put your shovels away yet. Okay. All right. Everybody take care. Be safe. Bye.